Welcome back, and the palette under review is the Sephora plus Pantone Universe Color of the Year palette, and it's the Facets of Marsala multi-finish eye palette. Yes, a huge mouthful, and I'd like to share my thoughts on this palette with you guys and show you swatches and then tell you about the finish, if I think it's a great bang for your buck, would I recommend you to get it, if there are possible dupes, etc. So let's get started. So this is how it comes packaged. The Marsala color is like faded in, and it says that color of the year. It's much smaller. I think like this packaging in itself a little bigger was the packaging for the last at least 2 years. I never bought the others, but for this one I was actually intrigued because the color of the year was actually a color that I personally love. Didn't know it was called Marsala. I think if you'd ask me, I would tell you it's like more cranberry, red toned cranberry, but lovely color. I liked I think last year was Radiant Orchid, another color that I love, and the year before that was like an emerald or something like a green, which I love green eyeshadows. So I am actually loving the last couple years, so that's why I paid attention to it. Now, I think the year before that was actually maybe orange, if I'm not correct, like some kind of orange color, because I do have an eyeshadow palette that I never really touched that I purchased. Backtracking. So at the back here gives a little talk about the Sephora Pantone shades. Then it talks about like the ingredients, the names of the colors here are listed here, like, you know, the numbers that they go with it, the ingredients, and it's 24 shadows, and each eyeshadow has 0.5 grams of product, and then they have the colors here with the names on them. So let me just read it. It says Sephora plus Pantone Universe introduced Marsala, a shade of polished sophistication and daring minimalism. This complex, robust nude reinvents and redefines neutrals with captivating dimension, shifting in intensity from bold pigmentation to modest shade. Defy expectations with Marsala. So they actually did give you in this part like different textures or finishes of the particular palette. The colors. They give you different textures in the shade Marsala so that you can play around with it. This is actually a sleeve, not a box, and this is what a palette looks like. It's reflective, so definitely can give you guys some glare and feedback. So this is the actual size of the palette. The front is actually mirrored. It has like a gold tone, which is super gorgeous. And yes, you can definitely be vain and look at the colors at yourself in the reflection. But at the back, the good thing is that you get the name of the colors themselves. So you see Autumn Blonde, you get Marsala Matte, Marsala Metallic, Marsala Satin, and even Marsala Glitter. So you get the different finishes, and you get other colors, all that stuff. So let's get into what you get, and then we go into the swatches. So, and like I said, the palette is pretty small. I find it's pretty light, which I absolutely love because I hate heavy palettes. And this is how the mirror is like really large, and then that's what you have there for the eyeshadows. The casing itself out here is white, division is white, and then you have the colors in. Now sadly, the colors are really far in my opinion. They're pretty far in, and so if you have nails like myself, it's kind of hard for you to swatch colors. So for this video, I'm definitely going to be using Q-tips, and I find that it can get a little messy with the brush. One thing I did realize though is that there is not just a wide variety of color in this palette, but it's warm. The colors are warm toned, very few neutral colors. I think a couple of the colors on this side here are more cool tone or a little more neutral, whereas these are like all warm tone. The section that deals with like the Marsala, I mean, it's a warm tone. This palette actually is beautiful for say medium and tan skin to dark. If you're light skinned, to me any eyeshadows generally work well with you, but a lot of times you find palettes that you get towards lighter complexions as against tan, olive, and darker complexions. So I think that's what gravitated me to purchasing this palette this time. It was not large and bulky. Also, it had warm colors that can be worn. And I can tell you this much, for those people who are going crazy over the Jaclyn Hill Morph palette, I think this is very similar to that, and that is very similar to this. I mean, price range, you can get maybe 2 of that palette, so 1.5 of that palette with this. It's a larger palette, a lot more shadows again. So if you are beauty and a budget person, definitely that palette. However, that palette is so hard to get your hands on, in that it's sold out. I have been checking back for it. If I happen to be busy, that's it. It's going to be sold out. I don't know when it's going to be available again. I did check recently for it. It was sold out. I don't know by the time this video goes up if it's available. If it is, I will link you. So I think that these both palettes work well. A really, really, really inexpensive palette that you can maybe do to get in that same nice Marsala color and warm colors would be the 120 palette version 3. And Coastal Scents has it, BH Cosmetics has it. If you are buying it on eBay, look for the version 3. It has like warm orange, burnt color, reds and that kind of stuff. You are going to get a couple colors that can actually dupe this. I actually sold my palette in my blog sale, so I don't have it to compare. But after I saw this, I was like, oh man, I most likely could have gotten dupes in that palette. But nonetheless, I don't regret selling because I had it, wasn't using it. It was always bulky. This is something I could definitely travel with and that kind of stuff, and just store in my collection, because I am trying to work on setting up my collection. Not a lot of stuff, not like, you know, have a lot of bulky palettes, that kind of thing. If it's bulky, chances are I'm not going to use it that fast. So let's get on to the swatches of each color, and then I'm going to tell you my overall take. Alright, so I did apply a primer onto the back of my hand just because I'm not doing finger swatches, and I find that yes, when you do finger swatches you do get a lot more pigmentation, but when I apply to my eyes I do use base and primer. The one that I'm using here is a City Color Shadow Primer. It is what I did use when I created this look, and I did use this look in the palette, from the palette, and I'm like going crazy over it. So we're gonna swatch the first 4, and that's starting on this side here, and I have to keep looking at the colors because another setback is that the colors are not written here, which I'm not very fussy over. How you say it? I'm not fussy over the idea of naming having names, because when I'm applying I don't usually put names. So that's the first color, but what I'm gonna do is swatch them and then tell you the names of the colors and how they swatch. Q-tip is jacking up my my shadows a bit. So that's the first 4 here, and that's them there. So starting from the first color, that's the one at the bottom, we have Autumn Blonde, then Burro, Desert Mist, and then Carob Brown. So you can see that with these two, kind of similar. One is red toned a bit, and this one is more or less like a neutral brown. But I mean, I am getting good pigmentation with the Q-tip, and I can tell you this much: they are pigmented, but there's fallout. So that is a little drawback for me. So next 4, which is these 4 here, you have Toasted, and that's going Toasted, Deep Taupe, Butter Rum, and Brackened. So that's these 4 here. Again, Toasted Nut, Deep Taupe, Butter Rum, and Brackened. Alright, so the next 4 that we have would be this 4 here, and that 4 is called Marsala Matte, Marsala Metallic, Maroon, and Rosette. And so we have Marsala Matte, Marsala Metallic, and Macaroon, sorry, I said Maroon, Macaroon, and then we have Rosette. So that's the next 4, And yes, they are that pigmented. It's like I am not like, I mean, the primer is making them pop, but they are that pigmented. Oh my gosh. And row of Marsala colors. So you have Marsala Satin, Marsala Glitter, Chutney, and Hot Chocolate. I have not used the Marsala Glitter. That's the only one I have not used. But I have, oh my gosh, I actually love, everyone just comments how they love this section. But you see this orange kind of color that they call Chutney and Hot Chocolate. Oh my goodness, they are phenomenal. I have used that as transition in the crease along with the Marsala on my lid. That's not what I used for this look. I will show you after. But look at the swatches there. So that's the Chutney color that I'm telling you about. The glitter is this one in here. But I think once you use like a primer, especially if you use like a glitter primer like the Too Faced one or the e.l.f. one, it's going to apply as eyeshadow. I think the LA Splash has one. Phenomenal. Right, so the next row, which will be these colors here, you have Shifting Sands, Kelp, Nimbus Cloud, and Castor Grey. Now, oh my gosh, this silver though, which is called Nimbus Cloud, is like is glittery, like super glittery, and I really do not like how glittery it is, but it's gonna be one of those colors that people, if you like Carnival and those kind of like glittery dramatic eyes, then that's the glitter I'm talking about, the silver. But this is such a unique color, which is classed as Castor Grey, which is this color right here. Can more or less be that dual chrome that you get in the Comfort Zone, MAC Club. It's gorgeous. I got it in one of the Too Faced Christmas palette. Amazing color. Alright, so the last row, which is this row here, reminded me a bit of my Too Faced eyeshadows. I don't know if you guys are seeing clear. So you have here Cocoa Brown, Dusty Olive, Moonlight Blue, and Red Mahogany. Moonlight Blue reminds me a lot of the shadow again in one of my Too Faced palettes that I got Christmas time. And a little of the Rich Mahogany reminds me of that. So let me just show you them here. So that is the latter four. Again, the green, which is called Dusty Olive, is gorgeous. That's this here. I'm a sucker for green colors. So I'll insert a picture now of the swatches for you to see. Right, so again, the palette, and you saw the swatches. I absolutely love the color. I mean, the pigmentation is on point. Just there is fallout. That's the only hiccup, that there's so much fallout in this palette, and I have not had I like it. Even when you apply it, once you have a base, it applies beautiful. And I like how light it is, even though I do have a couple duplicates in here from other eyeshadows. I still see that myself gravitating towards this palette. Would I recommend it? Absolutely. I think it's, I mean, $39 is less than what the others used to be, and it's quite handy. I don't know if people realize, but it is actually, to me, in sections of 8, so that these are very complementary. These sets are complementary, and then this, so you can get your everyday look here. You can get your Marsalas here and create one look, and then you can get your cool tone colors here that you can use sometimes everyday or for glammed up looks. So it works well. Couple quads you can get here, like use all of these to create one look. Similarly here, this is very glammed and retro. You can get a very simple, nice eye there also. I wouldn't say that this one might be the only odd one, but then that's the 4 Marsala colors. I recommend you get this palette. Yes, I give this palette a 4 out of 5. I love pigmentation. I love how they blend, and very easy, not complicated. Primer, base, you're set, you're good to go. That's in your regular routine. I really did not get the fallouts on face. I was like, when I put my brush in, I tap off the excess and I applied. Beautiful blend, amazing. So for me, this was such a good buy. I am glad it was gifted actually to me, but it was something I wanted to purchase, and had I purchased it, I would definitely not have regretted me putting out the money for it. So that's my take on it, my recommendations. Hope you guys enjoyed this video.